All right, so this is the Joker guide. Actually, let me fucking take these off. This is the Joker guide. Joker just got released, and so this is obviously like a really fucking early first impressions type of guide. But I feel like I've watched a decent amount of Joker. I played around with the character for like 10 hours. Like, I think I have a decent understanding of how he's going to be played, but obviously take this with a grain of salt. He's very new and we don't know anything about him. If you just want the first go-to impression, like, should you play this character? Is this character good? I think this character is anywhere from mid-tier to top tier. If I had to put my money on it, I think he will eventually end up high tier or low top tier, maybe even mid top tier, but like outside of the top 5-ish. He is, though, in the beginning not going to be that strong, I think, because he requires a lot of optimization, especially when you're not playing with Arsene. To get kills and to do his combos is going to require like really tight play, and he has a lot of good moves but few very abusable, insane moves. Like, he has no Ike Nair, for example. Overall, he plays basically like, some people call him like Sheik with a cloud limit, which I think is kind of true, but there's a lot more to him than that. Overall, though, I think his neutral, especially without Arsene, is probably the closest to Sheik. You can see this back air is kind of like Sheik fare in terms of range and speed. And his dash attack is one of his main neutral tools as well. Overall, he's a midweight. He falls 4th fastest in the game, so it's a very fast fall speed. Good aerial mobility too. Not amazing, but definitely not bad. A lot of his specials make him float a lot longer. His recovery is really good if you come from down below, but it is not that good from the side. It's not as good as, say, Ivysaur horizontally. All right, so let's just get started, right? So first off, we have Neutral B. Neutral B is gun. just straight up gun. This move has a lot of different uses. It's gonna take a while to like really get good with this move. I would say if you're starting out, don't bother learning this move too much, but we'll go through it anyway since it's a cool ass move. All right, so first off, you can press B or hold B and you will keep shooting. Guns have hit stun when you're closer, and they have 3 different damage values. So like 1, 3, 6. To add to that, you have different variations of gun. So we'll start with the ground version. Ground, you can dodge back and dodge forward. These all have invincibility, and if you keep spam dodges, these also get slower, just like any roll. So keep that in mind. You can't just spam that. You can also like cancel after 1, but it is pretty laggy. So it's definitely not something you want to throw out in close quarters. From grounded gun, you can press jump and get this one. This one is also invincible for startup, and it's a pretty good like escape tool. If you do use gun and you see them running towards you, this is probably going to be your main like oh shit button. So you press jump and then you kind of either go backwards or forwards to try to escape. You can also fast fall this to land slightly faster. At higher percents, you can get like a jab or tech shakes follow up from this. That's pretty much it for gun on the ground. I don't think it's a great ground move overall. Pretty limited. You probably won't be using it much on the ground. In the air, however, it has a lot more uses. So first off, you can short hop and then jump if you just do it while rising. You can also air dodge in the air though. And if you do this while landing, and this also has invincibility, by the way, you can get like kind of a slide like this. Now, if you do it very close to the ground, you slide further, but you have no invincibility. This is kind of a tricky timing, and some people call this the gun waveland, I guess. And it kind of is. You also don't have much lag at all. So this can kind of be used as a surprise tactic, like that. Which is really cool. It doesn't slide off platforms well, but it is a pretty cool technique to just have some extra movement and stay mobile while throwing out projectiles. I would say in general, learning to short hop gun and then either double jump, land, or dodge in either way is going to be very, very useful, especially for characters that don't throw projectiles at you, so they can't interrupt you when you shoot. All right, so next up we have in the air, you can press gun, then up. You can't do the up version straight away. You will always get one horizontal shot first. This one I would not say is very useful. It has a lot of landing lag. It does not have like a strong hitbox. As you can see, he doesn't get knocked back much, even when he's at really high percent. Okay, never mind. At 9999, I guess you can't use it to kill. Must be the best move in the game. But yeah, even at like this, you can't get a combo. That's how laggy it is. However, down guns in the air, I actually think is incredibly good. Now, this is a very large hitbox, even horizontally. You would think it only, like, let me show you. See how it hits him there? So, like, when it hits, it has a wider hitbox than you would think. Kind of like Sheik Needles, even though they, like, appear to have almost no hitbox. This one does not have a lot of landing lag either, as you can see. And it does not have a lot of air lag either. So after 3 shots, I believe, you can jump. Maybe it's 4. And then you can also decide to, like, okay, I'm going to shoot 1 more rep. So you do 4, and then you can jump out after 4. Like that. This one's really good. You can use it for edge guarding, for example. Hit low recoveries with it. And in general, you also get tech chase from this. Like that. Which you can set up kills and so on. And in general, I just think it's a really good move to land with. Like, let's say they're trying to juggle you. So you can do gun. And then from gun, they don't know if you're going to do, like, stop it and do something else. Air dodge to either side. Or fall down on them with down gun. And if you're really high up in the air, you can also air dodge before you land. Or jump if you haven't used your jump already. So yeah, I think I actually think down gun is really good. You can also use it in neutral to be tricky, especially since you can B reverse gun. So like you can jump over the opponent like that, come on top of them. Cut that out, editor. No, but so I think down gun, especially when edge guarding and stuff like that, is really useful. Now we're gonna go through Arsene mode, but we're not gonna explain Arsene mechanics quite yet. But we'll just go through this. So in Arsene mode, you shoot 3 gunshots. This adds some damage and some knockback, but it doesn't do too much. I still wouldn't say that this is a move that gets greatly buffed by Arsene mode. You probably want to do other things to make better use of your Arsene timer. All the moves kind of function like normal outside of you just doing slightly more damage. Definitely not the most useful move, but it is neat. And it is really fun to use. And I think there's some really good uses for down gun. Next up, we have Saibi, Aha. This is probably one of your main neutral tools, depending on matchup, of course. But yeah, no, this is a really, really good neutral tool. You can kind of treat it like a Sheik Needle. Definitely don't treat it like a PK Fire. It's not that good to where you can just use it super point blank. Now, this does very little damage, only 3 damage initially, but it will tick and deal damage over time, all the way up to 13.8, I believe. This is also a move that's pretty hard to reflect. It's semi-safe on shield. Now, something that's really good to know is that when you use it, you get some extra air mobility. You can see I kind of stall here, and you can like change momentum with it. You can also B-reverse this. And if you use it short hop and then instantly use AHA, you can kind of do like this, like kind of like short hop. And this makes it easier to get follow-ups. So if you do this at 0, for example, you get dash attack, dash grab to combos. I believe you get down tilt as well. Maybe a little bit closer. And then at higher percents, you get jump aerials from this. Yeah, that comboed. So yeah, definitely a very good projectile. Some people actually start to panic just because they're taking damage, but they can't do anything about it. Shielding will not reduce the damage. Going invincible, such as grabbing the edge, does not make you take less damage. It's just that permanent stuff. Neat trick, I think, is to use AHA from the edge like this. Ledge jump. Covers you pretty well. It is unsafe on shield, but since you can't control yourself, like you can kind of fade back if you realize, oh shit, they're gonna punish me out of shield. For edge guarding, this can be useful, but it doesn't have too much knockback. Probably a move that you will use sometimes just to like make them a little bit more scared if you don't want to go off stage and risk getting counter edge guarded. All right, so next up we'll check out Arsene mode. Now this is a really good projectile. I almost said stupid because it is borderline stupid. So first off, it always explodes if it hits the ground and has a really active hitbox. You can use this to 2-frame characters if you put it on the edge like that. It does, I think, 20%. overall. About 20%. I didn't see the decimals. You don't get a combo from this, however, which is a little bit disappointing, but you get a juggle setup. So after here, you could like get an up air. If you do manage to hit it like high up on the stage, like maybe from a battlefield platform, it can kill as well. And in general, it's just like way faster, goes further. It has the same amount of lag, so I would still advise short hopping it to like move away. Or keep going if you see that it's gonna hit. But yeah, a very, very good neutral projectile. Probably your most buff neutral tool in Arsene mode. Alright, so moving on, we'll go through up B first, and then we'll go through counter and Arsene. So up B, just starting off for recovery. This is how you're gonna use it for the most part. It's a really long range counter. You can do it all the way from down from here. And it's also very, very good at not screwing up when you're below the stage. Like so, like some other tethers are. You can also use it while facing the other way, and it will turn you automatically around. You can hang a little bit, and then eventually drag yourself up. You can also cancel the hang, pressing down. And do stuff like that. One thing to know is that much like Ivysaur, the first up B, you see how he gets this little extra jump? You don't get that back if you get hit, or if you use it several times. So... see how I don't get it the second time? It's pretty important because sometimes if you get hit while trying to do the first up B, people would spam up B without realizing that maybe they need to jump, need to wait a little bit until they get into the proper range. Up B in the air has a weak hitbox. You can use this for gimping, but it's not going to be like very commonly used. But it has a pretty nice angle, and if you hit them really far off stage, you can gimp them like that. One thing to note is that if you can't angle this up B at all. The angle you get is the only one, and it does not work horizontally as far as it works diagonally or from straight below. It does still work pretty far though if you're below the edge like that. But some characters can up B tether from significantly higher up, like here. But Joker can't do that. Still, it's a very easy counter. I mean, tether to use for the most part, and most people will not struggle with doing this. So yeah, a good recovery tip with Joker is to throw projectiles. Use gun. You can use gun to air dodge, and then recover from very far below where it's hard to hit you without risking a lot with up B. While we wait for the ads to play, we'll show the taunts. Oh, very generic. Okay, so now we have the fun part of up B, the drag down. Now, the drag down up B will combo into a lot of things, and there's a lot of extra uses you can do with this. Now, I'll say to start off with, this is not something you're gonna start off doing a lot. There's not that many setups into up B, and the ones that exist are pretty hard to reliably land, especially if you're a beginner or even a mid-level player. So it's going to be one of those moves that you will see top-level Joker players use a lot, but your average Elite Smash Joker is not going to hit it much. The hitbox it has is actually very, very wide, much wider than it looks. From here, it does not have a good hitbox, but on top of it, it has a good hitbox. Kind of hard to show, but you see there, like, he kind of snapped right into it. And I believe it gets wider the further out it goes. There's a couple different setups you can use. Generally, I would say the best one is falling up air. You can also use it as a frame trap after down tilt. I don't believe it combos after down tilt. Maybe late down tilt at high percent. Generally, you're going to get mostly from up air. And we'll go through some more advanced combos later. I might have to make a part 2 of this guide, but just I'll show you like an easy combo where you will use up B, something like that, and then you can keep going with the upper drag down. Basically, falling upper where you hit the last hit of the upper right before you land is your best bet for comboing into up B. Starting off with this aerials. Aerials is going to be your main neutral tool, along with dash attack and grabs, and side B. So Nair is your front hitting hitbox. Doesn't have that much landing lag. It's safe on shield if you try to spot dodge or jab before they grab. But some characters can punish it with a really fast up B out of shield. It has 2 hits and it's kind of slow in startup, so you definitely can't like nair out of combos. With a bit of practice, it will become like definitely a good aerial to use. Does 7 damage, not too much, but if you land with it like so, you always get a follow up basically. Until really high percent where it just sends them too far. You generally do nair to grab or nair to dash attack, I would say. Those are the most practical confirms. You can do nair down sit as well. But that one can be a little bit finicky depending on range. You see there, I hit them too close. So I would actually want to hit them from further away to get the right down tilt spacing. And let the up tilt combo. Next up we have Fair. Fair is kind of like Searsuit Samus Fair. It doesn't hit very low at all. You can hit with it if you delay. At least versus mid-height characters. Now, hitting a crouching curb is going to be hard with this move. It's pretty laggy. It's not safe on shield for the most part, unless you space it very well, or you're playing against like Ivysaur. Slow character out of shield. But it's a very good combo move. You can't really like loop Fairs in the air like this for true combo, but it does string pretty nicely. It's not that easy to get out of, especially offstage where they might not want to edge guard. I mean, air dodge. Just all willy-nilly. There's some really good confirms with Fair though, mainly Fair 1. This is one of your main kill confirms in both Arsene mode and no Arsene mode. At about 150, 120 is where Fair 1 will start killing with up smash, like so. It's not a very high confirm either. The move barely gets stronger, so you can do this for like quite a lot later. And it will still combo. You can also do an advanced confirm where you do Fair, up air drag down, and then up smash or down smash. Up smash will whiff on some characters, like Wolf. So that's just something you're gonna have to learn which characters it whiffs on. In Arsene mode, Fair, drag down, up air can kill ridiculously early. That's ridiculous. Oh my god, how early does that kill? So you do landing Fair, Fair again into F smash. You can probably do just one Fair into F smash as well on characters that fall fast, but this might do less damage. Yeah, you can do a lot of really good converts with Fair 1. Just in general, it's going to be one of your main combo tools. Like, you know, play around with it, see what you like. Stuff like that, true combos. It's really good. It is a risk to do it point blank on shield though, so keep that in mind. Don't be too predictable with it. And it doesn't have the best range. But it's a very good tool overall. Definitely master Fair 1. Next up we have Downer. Regular Downer is mostly like a landing option if you think they're going to be below you. Pretty good disjoint. It will always send in front, so you can get some like good confirms if you hit them really far behind like that. Wonder if you could do down smash here. I mean, F smash. Probably like a real low percent. Yeah, like that. That's pretty cool. You can also stage fight with it, since it will always hit the right way. And edge guarding, it can be quite good since it will always send out. So if you land a downer in this way, it always sends them off stage. It doesn't stage back them and let them get back for free. Overall though, not the best move. You're not going to use it too much for combos, but it's a good angle to have occasionally. Most of the time though, stick with nair if they're in front or back air if they're behind. But obviously when you're coming down, sometimes you just want that good downwards hitbox to beat their like juggling move. Yeah, at low percentage you can do dare to grab as well, or dare to dash attack, or dare down tilt, like that. So back air is kind of, think of it like a Sheik Fair. It doesn't have the best range. It's not a Lucina forward air, but it has good range and it does have a good disjoint, so it will beat out moves. But yeah, just keep in mind that, you know, it doesn't have the best range. It's pretty fast startup. I think it's frame 6 or 7. It's safe on shield if you do it landing, so you can spot dodge, and it's very good for setting off combos as well. Landing Fair will combo into grab, will combo into F tilt, down tilt, you know, all the good stuff. Dash attack. It starts knocking over pretty early than nair for sure, but you can catch them before they land a lot of the time, even on fast forward such as Wolf. If you don't, you have to go for a deck chase. I don't believe it has a sweet spot. You can also string back air to back air. It has very low end lag, so it's an incredible edgeguard tool, and it starts so low that dropping from the edge with it is very, very good. So you can kind of like do several back airs like that, and then get back, keep back airing them. It's definitely overall his best aerial, I would say. Just really, really good. And learning how to do a reverse aerial rush or RAR into rising back air or short out fastball back air is going to be very, very essential for playing Joker well. You can do a full jump back air into another falling back air, or like gun into Aeon, Aha. Yeah, just a lot of different follow-ups, and it's one of your best, safest kill moves once you're in Arsene as well. So yeah, definitely learn how to use back air as well. Up air is going to be your main combo tool, or combo extension at least. It doesn't do much damage by itself. However, it just leads to a lot of different things. So first off, you can do up air into up air like that, but, and this is where the sauce gets going, you can do drag down. So if you do upper and then you fast fall, generally you want to start your upper a little bit later so the last one doesn't have time to come out. You can do a true combo into grab or an up tilt. Yeah, just to show you guys that it actually true combos. Like, these grabs don't show well. It can be really hard to like actually show what true combos and what doesn't. But yeah, as you see there, that was a true string all the way. Generally, you want to do this from up throw into grab. From down throw at higher percent, like mid percent, you start being able to do dash up air regrab like that. From down tilt, you can do it if you hit the late down tilt. From up air, you can do it at low percent, maybe up to like 15-ish. It depends on each character, of course. Like Wolf falls pretty fast, so you can do it longer. And so this lets him chain grab with it. Now, this can be DI'd to some degree, but we don't know exactly how much now since it's so new. Yeah, you can kind of just go ham. You can really go nuts. And you can also check out my Joker Infinite combo. You can do a lock for this one to get some extra damage on platform stages where you can just kind of loop it. Overall, though, a really, really good combo tool. As we went through earlier, falling up air to up B will also true combo. Up B is considered a grab, so it won't show correctly on the combo timer. So this is something you're just going to have to like try out or use training mod to see whenever it's true. You can also do falling up air to like up smashes or down smashes at high percent, depending on character. Or down tilt, for example. Up tilt also works. There's a lot of things you can do with this move, okay? And you're really gonna have to wait for part 2 to get some more specifics. In general, though, this is a good juggling tool. It has some decent end lag, but it comes out very fast. Can kill if you hit them very high with it, but in general, it's mostly going to be a juggling and combo extension tool, and you're not gonna want to use it too much since it doesn't have the raw damage. Generally, I would say try to hit them off stage once you're done with the true combos, and edge guard them with back air or forward air or nair. Now, when you're on Sen mode, this is easily one of your strongest kill moves. It's just ridiculous how strong it gets. After like 60, 70, your opponent's gonna have to look out for uppers high up on the stage. Yeah, it's just an incredible move in Arsene mode, and you will get a lot of early kills with this, especially if your opponent's not watching out. And mixing up with up air, which they have, so they want to air dodge the up air, and then falling down with an up smash or an F smash or a back air. You know, imagination is going to be a way to get consistent early kills. Okay, so all of his tilts start on frame 8. F tilt, up tilt, and down tilt. F tilt is kind of a regular poke with 2 hits. It can mix people up that try to jump after the first hit. It's relatively safe. It's minus 15. So if you space with it far away, it can be quite safe. He also takes a step forward, though, so you can't just like keep spamming this. You have to keep walking back a little bit if you want to use it by the edge, for example. This move can be aimed, but it doesn't like change the trajectory much. And it won't reliably 2-frame even when you aim it down. Up tilt is a really good anti-air. It has a very active hitbox. He kind of throws up his dagger here. And the upwards hitbox I mean, the top hitbox stays out for a long time. It does not have a lot of lag. You get a lot of combos with it, and even a high percentage of this, you get a juggle setup. So definitely a very good move to throw out. You can throw it out after spot dodges, run up tilt. You can do sliding run up tilt. You can also do sliding F tilt. I forgot to mention that one. It's kind of a good like poke to do sometimes. Next up, we have down tilt. Down tilt is kind of an interesting move. It crosses up shields really well, so it can be like semi-safe on shields for that reason. If you hit the late one, you will almost always get a combo, except for really, really high percent. It will low profile a lot of moves, and it will also 2-frame in the beginning. This is kind of character dependent. Some characters won't get 2-framed at all by this, and some characters will always get 2-framed by this. It's something you're gonna have to learn with experience. See, Wolf doesn't really, you can't really hit him with it. Oh no, Arsene mode works. Okay, so in Arsene mode, this one has bigger hitbox. Good to know, good to know. So jab comes out frame 4, kind of standard poke. You can mix up like how many you want to do on shield. It's really nothing special. He slides when he does it, I think, running. Yeah, just a little bit. But overall, not a move you're gonna be using too much. It's kind of just to get off you. Sometimes a pressure tool after like nair or back air. You know, it's there. It does good damage when you're in Arsene mode. It does 15 damage. But overall, not your main tool. Not your main tool. In Arsene mode, F tilt, I believe, has a bigger hitbox and does more damage. Same thing for down tilt as we just went through, and up tilt has like a lasting electric hitbox, I believe. I think it just has a bigger hitbox. I'm not exactly sure what these do, but yeah. More in part 2. Next up, we have dash attack. Dash attack is probably his best neutral tool outside of back air. And yeah, this combined with AHA and back air gives him a really, really strong mid-range. It comes out frame 6, launches really far. Even at like 5-10%, it's going to start knocking down and setting up for a tech chase, which is incredible. It does about 10 damage, so not too much by itself, but obviously, if you get them into tech chase, you can get another dash attack if they miss the tech. You can do a jab reset. If they miss the tech, you can tech chase with grab. And it will sometimes cross up on shield. It's like kind of random if it crosses up or not, which means that it's very hard to punish properly. So yeah, very, very good move. It's going to be a lot of basic poke you use, follow up. You know, it's just one of your main tools. Kind of like Sheik dash attack is one of our main tools. So yeah, learn it, use it. Use it from dash dance. Learn instant dash attack for sure. If you don't know how to do that, that's pressing forward and then C stick forward. Alright. I'll wait for ads. During Arsene, it doesn't really change much. It just does more damage. Slightly bigger hitbox, I believe. So smashes is one of his best ways of killing. They're all good. None of them is completely amazing. F smash is frame 16. It's pretty far. Gets a bit easier to land if you charge it. Like after you charge it, I think it hits frame 11. Down smash hits frame 12. Covers both sides. Can 2-frame. Not great at it though. As you see, it's kind of inconsistent. You can do it after an upper drag down. Overall though, F smashes and down smashes are very generic. If you know anything about any Smash character, you probably know how to use these moves. However, up smash is one of his best moves, I would say. It starts killing at like 120, 130-ish. It's frame 10, which means you can use it out of spot dodge and parry and out of shield very easily, as well as out of dash. It doesn't have too big of a range though, especially without Arsene. So yeah, definitely a very, very good tool. You can combo into it. It does good damage, all the good stuff. One of your best out of shield options. Since Joker's aerials kind of have trouble hitting in front of him, it's very, very nice to have up smash out of shield as well. Next up, you have grab. Joker's grab is pretty average overall, but that in a good way. It's a 6-frame grab. He has a pretty good grab range. Like, it doesn't feel like as short as some other characters have in this game. Like some like Marth and Chrom have kind of underwhelming dash grabs. Joker's dash grab seems to work fine. You can also extend this by doing boost grab. More about that in part 2. I keep finding more tech to talk about. Pretty good dash grab. I think his pivot grab is pretty good as well. Overall, just a solid grab. Decent range, so it's a pretty good out of shield option, as you can see. Actually, surprisingly good range, the more I think about it. Surprisingly good range. Okay, so let's go through his throws. Up throw is going to be your main combo tool. Your safest setup, it always leads to up air, especially at low percents, and at even higher percents it leads to up air, about 60-70. Down throw also leads to combos. This one is slightly more DIable, but it sets up better for some characters, like Wolf for example. You can do variants of down tilt like this, and that's generally going to be a very good combo, especially for getting off stage. And you can do dash up air as well, and nair on some characters I believe as well. Yeah, overall both down throw and up throw are going to be your combo tools. More specifics about that in part 2. Forward throw can set up for tech chase. Generally just a gimp throw, like you want to get them off stage, or really high percent, you want to throw them off to set up for an edge guard. Back throw, same thing. If you want to, edge guard them, you have your back towards the edge, throw them off. At high percent, like 150 by the edge, it will start killing. It's a pretty weak one though. It's like slightly stronger than Peaches. Weaker than Peaches, I think. So yeah, you can do that ledge trap where you roll to the edge and like try to grab their stand up. Next up, we have basically the star of Joker's toolkit, which is the counter. To start off with, his regular counter starts on frame 3, which is a very fast. It's tied for the fastest counter with Incineroar, I believe. Now, it does not do a lot of return damage. If you look at this, like even though it's a full charge smash, it only does 3%. You can hit recoveries with it and projectiles, and it does not do a lot of damage. The interesting thing about this one is that if it does not cause hit lag, like you see how his opponent does not freeze. So if you were to say edge guard the opponent with a counter, you need to manually time it, and it can be quite hard. Also, this Wolf is amazing at recovering, at like the most perfect angle. So yeah, you see how he went through me there, where like a Lucina counter would have easily caught him. So you need to be pretty precise to get this, and it's also not a strong hit at all, but you can use it to gimp like that. I would say the main use for this one is to get out of bad situations. For example, you can use this from the edge, like this. Okay, not like that. Use it from the edge, like this. You can also hold it, so it's a very good tool to like kind of mix up your when you're coming down. They're trying to juggle you, since you can decide how long it's gonna be. It creates a lot of different mix-ups that most counters don't have. So it kind of like basically the way to beat this cleanly is to wait out the entire one and then try to react with a fast move, such as the jab when you see Joker drop the counter, or you grab him. But if he's off stage, for example, you can't. It's much harder to react to him. So a good way to recover with Joker is to go past the edge, bait them to attack you, hold counter. If they hit you, and you get meter for it and maybe return damage. If they don't, you just let go counter and then upbeat. Yeah, generally, I would not suggest that you will try to use counter in neutral that much. It's kind of a scrubby tactic that won't work at high levels, and even at low levels, it might get you charged F smashed. I would say use counter as a get out of combo tool, as a anti-projectile tool, if against slower projectiles especially, and as a spot dodge slash out of shield move. You can short up counter and it will come out of frame 6. So yeah, kind of a scramble move, kind of a like disadvantage state move. And main reason you want to use this is of course because you get Arsene mode. So we'll kind of go through how Arsene mode works to start off with, and then we'll go through the benefits. So straight up, if you wait 3 entire minutes, you will get 1 charge of Arsene. Now this does not like stay in between stocks. So you would have to survive 3 minutes without taking any damage to get on 1 stock to keep the entire, to get a full meter out of just time. This is mostly just used as like, oh, you almost got Arsene, but you haven't taken another hit yet, so like the time will complete it for you essentially. Dealing damage does not add any extra meter builds at all. You can see it doesn't affect the meter at all. 75 damage taken is about 100% of 1 bar. Obviously, like 75 minus a little bit of time since it takes time. So if you see him just neutral special, 10 damage, 18. I believe you get more. You need less when you are a stock or 2 behind. But that's kind of like, it's not super noticeable. So it's going to be something you'll see overall. Yeah, so I took about 70% and then plus time gave me full Arsene meter. If you counter, however, you take half damage of any move and you need to counter 30% worth of damage. That does like slightly less than 30%, and then the time will help it complete. When you go into Arsene mode, you get this kind of like this flash, and he just kind of comes out. He doesn't like lag you at all. You can get it like mid combo, and it will, you know, like it will make the move stronger, and it can also fade mid combo and make the move weaker. If you want to test this out in training mode and just try Arsene stuff, I would advise going to play 1 damage, swapping over to 99 damage by pressing left, and then going back. And then once he runs out, you can just do it again. Arsene, once activated, is active for 30 seconds. It does not last in between stocks. If you die, you spawn with a little bit of meter, but regardless, like even if you die without it active. But yeah, Arsene is over. If you take damage during Arsene, you lose 1% of your bar for every percent taken. You can kind of see that like you take some slight hits. So I think this is really interesting because it really rewards you for going on a big momentum streak once you get Arsene and you're all powered up. So obviously you don't want to get hit with Arsene, but you don't want to get hit generally. Something to keep in mind. Right, so we'll go through the main benefit of Arsene now. In the part 2 of this guide, I'll probably go through more specifics, like exactly what moves are different, exactly what's better, what's worse, and yeah, how to play around with the mechanics more in depth. But for now, I'm gonna go through generic, especially since some of this isn't completely figured out yet. So in Arsene mode, your side B and neutral B we already went through. Your counter becomes a regular counter-ish. Now it kind of becomes like Palutena's, where it will reflect projectiles, reflect them really quickly. If you get a close hitbox, then it's also a very strong counter. Obviously, this is a full charge smash, but yeah. This is also a very good edge guard tool. If you ever hit someone off, you can counter the recovery, and it can kind of just die. I'm not going to spend time hitting it now, but you'll see people land this. Arsene cannot be hit, just so you guys know. He's completely invulnerable, and he adds an extra hitbox to a lot of your moves. So this is most noticeable with Nair, where it becomes a full circle that's constant, and that to hit twice. Regular Nair can only hit once, even though it spins twice. The second hitbox will never hit if you hit the first one. Back air, for example, starts from above as well. Up air has an ending hitbox that's bigger. F tilt has a lasting hitbox. Up tilt has a lightning. F smash is wider, up smash is wider. Yeah, all of his moves are pretty much both stronger and have additional hitboxes. Now, we'll go through the most significant ones that you need to know. But as a baseline, all of your aerials will start to kill. The only real exception to this is Downer. Downer goes from being a pretty mediocre move, like this. It just kind of swings. It can't spike or anything. It will always hit in front and can lead to combos at low percents, but it's really not a very notable move at all. You mostly want to use Nair or backer in most cases where you could Downer, except maybe out of shield. But in Arsene mode, Downer becomes a very strong spike. One of the absolute best spikes in the entire game. So you still have the regular swing from Joker, as you can see, but Arsene does a stomp as well, and it's a stomp that will hit them. It becomes a 2-hit move. This is really good that it's a 2-hit move, because it means that you can push them off the stage with the first hit, and then spike them with the second one, even if they're standing on stage. Like so. And this can hit like ledge get up attack. In general, this Downer is kind of like melee Falcon Stomp. Like it has a lot of hit stun, and you can do up smash to kill very easily. You can do F smash. You can do all kinds of things. Like this Downer is really like such an amazing tool once you're in Arsene mode, and has a really big hitbox. And obviously, if you hit them off stage, like spiking them is going to be very like scary for the opponent. Like so. The other notable one is that up air will kill. You can even kill confirm this at some percent. So up through up air here will like hoo-ha kill confirm. That was a true combo and it killed. This is not going to be super common, but if you ever grab someone on a platform, for example, this will kill very, very like 60, 70. And all kind of setup moves, like if you hit a down tilt during Arsene, up air will kill if you can read your opponent's air dodge. Back air and fair will kill really early as well. Especially if you hit them as an edge guard, it will kill like 50 on many characters. Like, and it's such a big hitbox. Aerials are incredible during Arsene. Now, his ground attacks are not that much better. They do more damage, for sure. Jab does 15 instead of 9. And same thing goes for his down tilt and his F tilt and his up tilt. But I would say that the biggest buffs are for sure his aerials and his smashes. His smashes are fine regularly. F smash will kill at like this type of percent with rage, but it won't kill without. If you have Arsene mode, you can kill them at like really early percent. It also gets a bigger hitbox, so it's just a really, really strong smash. It does 27 damage. Like, it's kind of ridiculous. Up smash will also kill early, like 87. And this is an up smash that gets extra range, 10 frame startup. You can do it out of shield. Like, you have to be fucking scared of Joker in Arsene mode, let me tell you. Down smash is also really good in Arsene mode. It's not quite as strong as the other ones, but if you do hit them by the edge, it will kill. And it's also just like fast and good range. Okay, so notably, some of his combos actually get worse during Arsene, mainly because you can't up B like you can with regular Joker, no Arsene mode. However, all your moves do so much damage that even a shorter combo will deal about the same. Like, even that simple combo did 33 damage, right? Throws are not affected at all by Arsene mode. Pummels are not as well. So keep that in mind. The main thing we haven't talked about yet is that since up B is different, you also have a different recovery move. Up B is invincible startup, and it goes very far. Think Inkling far. And you can also angle it. You can go straight up. You can go, you know, kind of forward. It doesn't have that many angles. It is invincible on startup. Yeah, it's invincible like very fast. Maybe even frame 1 actually. Yeah, frame 1 invincible. All the way up to frame 20, I believe. So it makes it very, very good for recovering. Just like getting back always. It doesn't cost any meter to use or anything. You can use it even when you're close to snap edge completely safely. Now, combined with his downer and his insane aerials off stage, this means that he's extremely scary to recover against in Arsene mode. Since he can always get back. He can always do like late downers and such. Just keep in mind that you can lose it mid-jump, so don't go too far. And you can also use like down guns extremely far and still make it back, no problem. Overall, Joker, really, really interesting character. Definitely going to be playing this character a lot. Really hopeful for what people can find with him.